she never get. She never knows when to quit. I started up the skies. The waters where I fall.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. What a game we have for you here. The first meeting of the year between two of the NFL's most hostile divisional rivals. This matchup always among the most anticipated games of...
We are on the eastern side of downtown Minneapolis at the gorgeous new U.S. Bank Stadium. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And a glance here at the vet. He's got a lot of years under his belt in the National Football League. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25. Decent chunk of yardage still left here. 2nd and 7.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
Well, Brandon, sometimes I think when we watch games, we're actually watching a living museum because we're seeing the evolution of positions almost with each passing game. How about defensive ends nowadays and the way that they can run almost all the way across the field?
It is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, they're so strong, but they're so lean they can move. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th. They were trying to set up that screen, trying to get that screen to formulate. Took too long.
Ends up taking a sack, and that leads you to a couple of... Questions. Number one, why don't you just get rid of the football near the screen guy so that you don't take an interception? But really the big one, they just took everything away, and he was really kind of flummoxed on that play and ended up taking the sack.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, You really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a third down. They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on third down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
A gain of 6 there on first.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So the opening drive for him here on their home turf results in a field goal.
Now that's the way you want to get things started. Your stadium, your crowd, you've got the ball, put points on the board first, and let everyone start to celebrate.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down. In a 3-4 defense there and against the run, a lot of responsibility can fall on that nose tackle.
A ton of responsibility, no pun intended, because they've got to deal with not just the center, both guards, and a lot of times they have to eat up double teams in order to let the rest of the guys get to the football. But how about that play? He not only did he eat up the double team, he ate up the ball carrier as well.
I was going to say, talking about puns, you said eat up the double team. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. Just they move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary. And I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. Now the Vikings now heading on to the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Here we go. Green, 39.
And on the ground they go with the running back. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. Second down following the run. They come out here in the eye. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
And he's got his man on the out route. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Here we go now. 3-19.
On play action, they'll throw. Buying time to his left. And some room to roam now. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. So just a lone field goal in this first quarter of play. 3-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. And they're driving, but they come up on a 3rd and short here. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he is going to lose yardage here. This would have been a 54-yard boot had they tried a field goal, but they will not try a field goal. They're going for it.
Blue 90. Over. All right, now look at 56. All right, here we go. 56. Blue 90.
Back to throw here. Flush to his right. The ball comes out, and this one's going to go out of bounds, so no recovery, but on 4th down, a change of possession anyway. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
They'll set up to throw. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. 2 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
They'll drop the throw, and he is going to be wrapped up and slung to the turf. It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up second.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Give him 8 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And Walsh able to convert it as his kick is good, and that will tie us at 3-3. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense, and over the post.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held him to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes, just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it.
Let's go!
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And his pass incomplete.
I remember growing up playing basketball. My coaches always talked about communicating on defense, making sure you talk on defense, know where your screens are, know where the cuts are coming from, who has who. Well, guess what? It's the same thing in football. Even though there's more noise out there, you can hear all the screams of screen, screen. This defense, the bench, everyone let them know what the play was, and that's why they were able to react and knock the ball away.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Back to throw again. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They'll come out in the pistol. Again, he'll drop to throw. Forced out to his left. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the 1st down.
Now a handoff looking right. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That's complete, right around the 8. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Their dangerous wide receiver. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken the lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Let's go. Green 39.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings, and they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. They give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the Vikings defense ready to head back out there now. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down. But not to get too overcritical there, because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. 1st level defensive line, 2nd level linebackers, 3rd level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a 1st level run, and it was stopped by a 2nd level player.
Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
It's interesting how we label routes. You know, some people might call this a hitch. For me, a hitch is a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, about 1 to 3 yards deep. A lot of people might call this a dig route, going best deep on a 3rd and 7 to pick up the 1st down. Others just call it a stick route. Get to the right point, stick in that spot, and let them hit you with a pass. No matter what, they did pick up the 1st down.
12 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a Chicago 1st down. And it looks like this will likely be the last play before we hit the 2-minute warning.
Let's see if they can sneak one more good play in before the 2-minute signal.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Larry Ridley in Orlando with our EA Sports halftime report. Back to throw now on 1st down. And, oh, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They
don't
get a little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
Here we go. 319. 319.
They'll look to throw again. And his throw's going to be incomplete. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he coughed it up. And the Vikings pick up the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not only going to tip it, I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations, big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And the offense moving in the wrong direction here now as they face a 2nd and 12. Well, there they went blitz defensively, Charles, and things were paved well coming from the linebacker position.
I love the way that you described it, paved well. Oftentimes, the guy who gets home on the blitz, he's going to get all the credit. But his teammates did all the dirty work, right? They ran into people on purpose. They sometimes tugged on jerseys to hold linemen to create space and gaps. And that play finished off really, really well. Well-conceived, well-designed, and even better executed.
Looking to throw. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. The Vikings send out their punter, standing just outside his own goal line. Fielded just inside the 30. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Bears take over. Onto the field now come the Bears. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
It's a 5-receiver set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And it's a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Well, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball.
Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he will be brought down as time is now. And never mind, Larry. These 2 teams apparently anxious to get back at it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
All right, here we go.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
They'll look to throw. And he comes back with one complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up fourth.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. They'll try and throw for it here. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. A gain of 4 on the play, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on fourth down. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down.
Partner, I think the easy thing now would be to just abandon the run and start throwing the football at all costs. But I've been in so many games where it doesn't work running the ball, and then something pops, and now you get something going. I'm not so sure that just abandon your game plan this early in the second half.
Looking left side, he's got it, complete. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
I don't care how many times we see it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation. Well, in that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that'll be incomplete. Incomplete pass on second down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on third.
Single, slot. Here we go now.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. They'll look to throw now on first down. Surveying the field. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. It'll go as a gain of 10 there. And the Bears are going to get a first.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
Well, 1-2 combinations look pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
This drive has turned into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He needed 2. He got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
3rd and 2, and they ran the ball for only 1 yard, and everybody's going to scream at the offense. Well, let's give a lot of credit to the defense on that play. Defensive front out leveraged the offensive line. They got more people to the football. Yeah, they won that battle in a big way, and they're forcing a big decision now by the guys on offense.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off a bit?
I think so. That has to happen. You've got to make some changes because in the first half, they were pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really well, you get off your game a little bit. You get off the gas a little. You're like, okay, we've got this thing. And that's not necessarily the case. Maybe right now, someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again. But sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level. The Bears have put an extra defender in the secondary on 3rd down.
Yep, they're in the nickel. There's that man again. It's complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. Got a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
They'll set up to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. A big play there for Minnesota. 42 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Their big tight end, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead.
Well, the lost sleep that the defensive coordinator had all week preparing for this game, a good portion of it was trying to prepare for him because he's absolutely a phenomenal player.
And a lot of times around the goal line, they know it's going to him. It's just so hard to stop.
And that's where it really becomes difficult because you're exactly right. They know it's going to him, yet they still can't stop it. That tells you when you're a dominant player.
They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So a little grabbing there, but this time it goes against the offense for holding. It's a loss of 10 yards on the play. He'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And oh, he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's fourth down.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those three guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they will just roam and hit.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
They go play action here on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
All right, here we go.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover them.
Back now at beautiful new U.S. Bank Stadium. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Back to throw now on 1st down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Wide open receiver complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. A gain of 39 that time. Defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up 1st downs and keeping the football.
4 down.
The pigskin on the 7-yard line now. It's 1st and goal. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And it's 3rd down and goal from the 4.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Charles, I know it's hard when live bullets are flying, but you cannot keep your hand up around the face mask area.
It is absolutely inexcusable nowadays. We talk about target areas all the time. You have to aim lower so that your hand doesn't get involved in the face mask.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding. Offense.
So he got his hands a little too far outside. The ref caught him, threw the flag. And the 8th play on this drive coming up.
Here we go now. 3-19. Watch it now, Barney. Let's go. 3-19. 56. 3-19.
Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Their dangerous wide receiver. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing it. That's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
All right, now, look at 56. Look at 56.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass.
3-19.
And we've got movement. I think this is against the Bears here. Let's find out.
False start. Offense.
So a costly penalty and now a tougher third down situation. They'll look to throw again. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll bring up fourth down. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down.
Now let's go. 3-19.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to air one out. And got his man complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5.
Here we go now.
They'll look to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second, it looked like it was all going to come together. And they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He made his first, this from 47 yards out. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's likely not going to matter much, but at least they get themselves 3 points closer to respectability.
And I don't know that they're going to be a whole lot better about things because they've clearly been outplayed all game long. But, hey, no reason not to take the points when the opportunity presents itself.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down in those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. Fielded at the 20. Now after the punt on that play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
Here we go now. Green 39.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
Offense.
And that right there will set him back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away and see if he holds up.
Here we go.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Brandon, as long as we've been covering this league, every time we see a receiver that does not have a big-time game, you know that it's a long week for everyone around him. And, boy, it's paid off for him this week. He is prepared, locked in, and demanding the football. and getting it.
He told you that pregame that he was ready. I wasn't there. I was standing alongside talking to his teammate, but he said he was ready. It's shown.
My favorite part is he was telling me he was ready while he kept pacing in front of me. I mean, he's like a thoroughbred just out of the gates. And what he's done this week is found the ball early, meaning just get it to me and let me make plays, and that's exactly what he's done. Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. And how about this, a fake? Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. It's a big play that time on the fake punt. And on fourth down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
Partner, we saw him struggle last week. We're seeing him struggle again this week. We talked about it after last week's game, the type of coverage he was seeing. I think I'm seeing very similar blueprint.
That's what I was going to ask you. How often when you see this back? And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Their dangerous wide receiver. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bears get a bit closer.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
If you're running out route, it's likely you end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. They'll set up a throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
And he will find his man on the outside. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
He'll drop to throw. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And down inside the 15 he goes. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific